What if the most valuable treasure in history wasn't buried by pirates, but vanished in plain sight during the world's biggest conflict? Billions in gold secretly smuggled, melted, and hidden by governments, banks, and shadowy networks that still guard their secrets today. Imagine tons of national reserves meant to back currencies ending up financing war machines, laundered through neutral countries, or buried in forgotten tunnels, with some caches potentially worth fortunes still undiscovered. This isn't adventure fiction, it's the chilling true story of how gold, humanity's ultimate safe haven, became a weapon in hidden financial battles. Stay until the end, because the darkest revelations come last: controversial roles of supposed neutral players, allegations of repurposed loot fueling cold conflicts, and the unsettling lessons for your own assets in today's unstable world. These explosive details could change how you protect your wealth forever. This precious element has transcended mere materiality for millennia, serving as the premier preserver of worth, underpinning vast dominions, and quietly observing humanity's most profound transgressions. In the turmoil succeeding the mid-20th century global confrontation, unprecedented volumes exchanged covertly. Reserves belonging to administrations, monetary authorities, subjugated territories, and ordinary holders disappeared into unacknowledged repositories. The conflict concluded with evident strategic prevailers, yet in the obscured realms of negotiation and economics, advantages often accrued to those adept at relocating resources undetected. This narrative explores how the most reliable medium was transported clandestinely, appropriated, cleansed, and concealed, with portions potentially unaccounted for presently. Comprehending such extensive concealment requires recalling its significance in the preceding century's initial decades. Numerous global tenders derived backing from metallic stockpiles, with oversight bodies accumulating it as paramount assurance for circulated notes. For states, it signified reliability; for citizens, refuge amid impending disruption. As continental strains intensified late in the 1930s, apprehensive regimes commenced relocating holdings overseas. One low-country nation discreetly dispatched over 120 tons to Allied havens across the ocean and nearby. Another forwarded hundreds to presumed secure sites. Upon 1940 aggressions, captors rapidly claimed reserves from controlled areas. It served beyond plunder as wartime funding instrument. The occupying power utilized acquired quantities to procure essential materials from impartial parties, particularly at Alpine neutrality whose institutions readily processed without scrutiny. A notorious instance involved the Second Nations' 198 tons entrusted to a neighboring depository pre-invasion. Following that fall, shipments ostensibly for safeguarding reached a Western African harbor under aligned administration, subsequently reverting to aggressor control, bolstering operations. Alternative approaches included a Eastern European state's audacious extraction, routing via southeastern paths in Anatolia to transatlantic safety. Nonetheless, substantial volumes in dominated zones fell to occupiers, often reformed, remarketed, identifiers removed to obscure provenance. Yet European appropriations formed partial accounts. Concurrently, an Eastern imperial force conducted parallel acquisitions across its Asian domains, China, southern regions, archipelago, encompassing metals, gems, artifacts, post-war referenced under floral code names. Allegedly stashed in concealed chambers and passages, particularly insular sites, for future access. Though elements veered legendary, substantiated indications suggest notable amounts sequestered without formal reclamation. Operations similarly merged conquest with systematic extraction. By 1945, advancing counterforces prompted frantic relocations or burials. Discoveries ensued via specialized recovery units revealing not solely cultural items but vast metallic deposits in subterranean facilities and concealed storages. A prominent alpine mine yielded over 100 tons in bars, coins, notes amid invaluable works. However, retrieved portions represented minorities, majorities already dispersed via exchanges, neutral conduits, or unknown interments. The tale transitions post-war to emerging rivalries. Devastated landscapes, redrawn boundaries, nascent ideological divides created environments for unattributed resources integration into evolving hierarchies. A 1946 multinational body formed to reallocate finds to origins, handling approximately 336 tons over operations. Relative to estimated wartime seizures in thousands, recoveries proved limited. Remainders integrated private holdings, undeclared official accumulations, or transnational channels.
Neutral participants, notably the Alpine state, drew scrutiny.
National and commercial entities acquired vast sums from aggressors' wartime. Portions possibly pre-conflict legitimate, yet substantial evidently sourced inappropriately from territories or afflicted populations. Late-century inquiries verified informed transactions with prolonged confidentiality. Comparable claims targeted Iberian, Nordic, Anatolian intermediaries facilitating flows. Subsequent decades witnessed clandestine initiatives partly sustained via unlinked resources. In bipolar divisions, traceless mediums proved essential for supporting alignments, influences, or stabilizations across continents. Assertions linger regarding diversions to counter-ideological efforts. By mid-century, advanced arrangements prevailed, yet the element retained settlement centrality under post-war accords. Valuation stabilized, holdings reported. Informally, discrepancies likely existed, certain incorporations carrying obscured pasts. Recipient major powers assimilated wartime inflows sans origin disclosures. Rebuilders prioritized continuity over provenance queries. Mysteries persist, contemporary announcements occasionally surface: forested deposits, tunneled transports, submerged consignments. Many unsubstantiated, yet authentic instances affirm substantial 1939 to 1945 losses without reclamation, equating contemporary billions. Symbolically, crises suspend conventional possession and ethical norms. Contemporary relevance lies in relocation methodologies, rapid transference, intermediary cleansing, veiled structures employed presently by states, enterprises, persons. Turmoil redirects rather than destroys, re-emergences favor capable concealers. For holders, caution, perceived immunity to erosions, disruptions, failures hinges on custody and oversight. Wartime institutional storages offered no safeguard against seizures. Peacetime jurisdictional shifts or restrictions pose parallels. Post-war concealments exemplify vulnerability amid disorder. Precedents rhyme, stressed globals blur legitimate and appropriative boundaries. Unrecovered quantities attest fragility when orders invert. Amid electronic tenders, decentralized alternatives, fluctuating alignments, query not possibility but velocity and detection. Pattern recognition constitutes protection. If this altered outlook, subscribe. Chronicles illuminate directions.